Alright, we've got 3 games to talk about, starting with Game 61 against Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team full of aging legends fighting for a playoff spot. While the Canucks, on the other hand, assuming they don't lose all 21 of their remaining games, are practically a lock for the playoffs, so they had to match the intensity of a Penguins team desperate for points. Let's see what happened. Sam Lafferty crushed Emil Benstrom, Noel Acciari unintentionally knocked Noah Juleson into the end boards, but he was okay. Then, Chris Letang accidentally shot a rolling puck out of play and was called for delay of game, giving the Canucks their first power play of the game. But check this out. With just 4 goals in their last 37 power play opportunities, the Canucks coaching staff decided to try something new by splitting their best players up. Here's the first glimpse of the new first power play unit. Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, Nils Big Hog Höglander, Elias Lindholm, and Arshdeep Bains. They didn't score. In fact, they were only able to apply 15 seconds of pressure, and the one shot attempt from Hughes was blocked by Big Hog. With half the power play still remaining, the new look second unit came out. JT Miller, Brock Besser, Philip Hronik, Pius Suter, and Connor Garland. They didn't score either, but if this pass to the slot from Miller to Besser wasn't intercepted, they just might have. Remember this moment for later. Juleson crushed Rickard Rakell, and then watch this. The Höglander-Mikheyev-Pettersson line came out and put on a clinic, leading to a goal from Nils Big Hog Höglander. Then Erik Karlsson got called for slashing, giving the Canucks' new power play combos another chance to get things going, and thankfully this time, Miller's slot pass to Besser got through and the Brock star blasted in his 34th goal of the season to put the good guys up 2-0. Then Teddy Blueger made a wonderful pass to the wrong team, handing Rakell his 7th goal of the season, 2-1. Then the PD Hog Mickey line put on another clinic in the offensive zone, but this time the chance it led to was stopped by Tristan Jarry. And then Tyler Myers was called for high sticking 3 seconds after Nikita Zadorov was called for tripping, giving the Penguins a full 2-minute 2-man advantage, and of course, they scored. Rakell's 2nd goal of the game. God, Sidney Crosby is so damn good. 2-2, tie game. But that's not it. That goal only nullified 1 penalty. The Canucks still had over a minute to kill off. Good thing they have JT Miller.
Miller giving chase, able to poke it ahead. Now he taps it ahead. Miller's got a breakaway. Short-handed, he scores!
The heart of the Canucks beats again. What a goal. I was in the middle of eating spaghetti when that happened, and I'm not gonna tell you where the meatballs ended up, but I will say that I'm in the hands of some top-tier medical experts and should make a full recovery. 3-2 Canucks. Hronik harmed Harkins, Demko robbed Puustinen, but like I said at the top of this video, the Penguins are hungry for points. They want to make the playoffs as many times as they can before Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and Karlsson retire. They were pushing hard, but the Canucks weren't cracking. And even when Petey was called for high sticking, handing the Pens their 4th power play of the game, the Nucks still weren't cracking. In fact, JT Miller was looking dangerous on the penalty kill again. He stole the puck and set Mikheyev up for a shot on net, then stole the puck again a few seconds later, clearing it down the ice, knocking valuable time off the clock for the Pens. And that's when the fans at Rogers Arena did this.
I can't even imagine how that must feel. He just pumped on the bench. You know he hears it.
Your performance tonight was obviously recognized by the crowd. Nice to be appreciated that way.
Recognized by the crowd?
I like you were changing your name, and
I didn't even hear him, to be honest with you.
Eventually, the Penguins did tie it up after Juleson blocked a shot with his back and was forced to defend while in what I could only imagine would be excruciating pain. And for the 2nd time this season, the Canucks and Penguins were tied 3-3 heading into overtime. If you want to see what happened last time they went to overtime, feel free to click the link that just popped up in the top right corner. Anyway, Crosby almost ended the game himself, but Demko didn't let it happen. Then Hughes powered past multiple Penguins to set Besser up in front of the net, but Tristan Jarry somehow managed to keep it out. And thanks to that incredible save by Jarry, the Penguins were able to move up the ice and score the game winner. It was the other legend on the ice, Erik Karlsson, who put it away, but look at the save Demko made on Lars Eller right before. Just incredible. It's unfortunate Connor Garland's controller died on this play, but whatever. It's 1 game of 82. Now, moving on to Game 62 against the Los Angeles Kings, a team that truly dominated the first third of the season, only to get dominated for the second third of the season, leading to the firing of their head coach, Todd McClellan. With that being said, I wasn't sure what to expect heading into this game, but I can tell you what ended up happening was not one of the options I had in my head. The Canucks were absolutely, positively, in every possible way, dominated by the Kings. And I mean dominated. LA played so much better. They were hungrier, faster, tougher, and on top of all that, they capitalized on virtually every single one of their chances. The only shiny moment for the Canucks was this incredible highlight reel hit Noah Juleson laid on Alex Laferriere. Juleson hit Laferriere so hard that he looks like this now. It wasn't the best night for the Canucks by any means, but in case you want proof, here's Petey turning the puck over in his own zone, leading to Kopitar's 18th goal of the season. Big boo-boo. 2-0 Kings. But the Canucks did manage to cut the lead in half when Miller set Besser up for his 15th power play goal of the season using the exact same play that worked for them in the last game, but just over a minute later, Hronek got called for hooking. The only problem is, when you watch the replay of the penalty, you'll notice that it should never have been called in the first place. And guess what? The Kings scored on that power play. Look, bad calls and missed calls are part of the game of hockey. You can blame the refs, but every team knows that this is a possibility. It happens on a nightly basis across the league. And after that happened, the Canucks looked like they gave up. I mean, just look at Brock Besser on the Kings' 4th goal. He just stopped skating. LA scored again 3 minutes later and dummied the Canucks 5-1. But let's go back to LA's 4th goal for a second, the one that Besser gave up on. Because if we rewind a bit, you'll see that the whole sequence started when Pettersson lost the puck behind the Kings' net. But instead of back-checking right away, he spent 2 valuable seconds showing his frustration. Look, Elias Pettersson is one of the best players in the world, and by the time his career is over, could very well go down as the greatest player to ever put on a Canucks uniform. Although Quinn Hughes might have something to say about that. But you can tell something was on his mind. In fact, he hadn't even scored in his previous 9 games, and if you count this one against LA, it's 10. Now, if you somehow weren't aware, Pettersson is currently in the final year of his contract with the Canucks. And despite publicly stating his preference to wait until the season is over before entering contract negotiations, unsubstantiated rumors driven by the media's thirst for clicks started heightening the fan base's anxiety and propelled discussions about his contract extension into the spotlight. It clearly became a distraction for him, and how could you blame him? Look, I'm gonna skip the drama and instead just recommend you watch this video by the hockey guy who does a great job explaining the situation. The link to that will be in the description of this video. But essentially, all the drama was for nothing because on Saturday morning, the Canucks announced that they had signed Pettersson to a maximum term deal, meaning he will remain a Vancouver Canuck for at least the next 8 seasons. And while Petey was paid fairly handsomely, believe it or not, he actually left money on the table to help ensure the Canucks could remain a top contending team for a long time. A huge moment for Pettersson and his family, an impressive signing for Canucks management Jim Rutherford, Patrick Calvin, and Emily Castengay, and a huge relief for all Canucks fans, except for Taj. Now, let's see how Petey performed in Game 63 against the Anaheim Ducks. It only took 90 seconds to get a goal from Nils Big Höglander. Also, look at the pass Quinn Hughes made to get it to Nils Höglander. This is just, it's nice. It's really nice. Also, for the first time this season, the Canucks called up their 10th overall pick from 2019, Vasily Podkolzin. And boy, did he look good this game. Juleson was pancaking people again. Anaheim scored, but I don't care, and neither should you, because look how good Podkolzin looks. And look at this hit by Juleson. And look how good Podkolzin looks! Also, the split-up power play idea seems to be over, or at least put on the back burner, because the regular squad of Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, and Miller were back together, the only difference being that Connor Garland was playing alongside them instead of Elias Lindholm or Pius Suter. And it worked. Well, kind of. Garland scored his 12th goal of the season 10 seconds after the power play ended. Also, look at this pass from Zadorov. He's been playing great lately. 2-1 Canucks. Look how good Podkolzin looks. He even makes good defensive plays? Come on, man! Then Juleson got called for doing nothing, okay, but it didn't matter, so whatever. Garland played amazing all game. Look at this wonderful little pass he made to Di Giuseppe. Unfortunately for the Canucks, Anaheim has a stud of a goalie in Luke Dostal who was right there to make the save. Casey Ryan Gosling DeSmith was in net for the Canucks and he was no slouch himself. Juleson kept throwing his weight around. Then the linesman made a terrible icing call. Terrible. All I could hope for was that the Canucks won the face-off and cleared the puck so nothing comes from that terrible call, but instead, the Ducks got the puck back to Owen Zellweger, who took a shot that hit Pettersson up high. No. He was fine though, and the Canucks won 2-1. So, yeah. Congrats to Mr. Dust W for being the only person to predict one of the scores correctly. The next 2 games are against the Los Angeles Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights, so get your predictions in now for a chance to be shouted out in the next video. The Canucks are 1st in the Pacific Division, 2nd in the Western Conference, and 5th in the entire NHL. It's March. It's March. We are 5 weeks away from the playoffs, and the Canucks are one of the best teams in the league. Say it with me. The Vancouver Canucks are good. Thank you to the kind people who support the channel by clicking the join button, and thanks to you for watching. I'll see you Friday. Bye.
We've always heard that you don't like the noise, but in a Canadian market, knowing your stature and what you mean to the hockey club, obviously it was going to be a discussion point. I know you try to focus on the ice, but how much did that play into you sitting here today?
I didn't hear anything.